Hello and welcome to the news at 1 on NTA Channel 5, Abuja. I am Mariam George Jitubo. The federal government has declared Wednesday 12th and Thursday 13th May 2021 as public holidays to mark Eid al-Fitr celebration. The federal government congratulated all Muslim faithful for the successful completion of the Ramadan fast and called on them to replicate the life of kindness, love, tolerance, peace and good neighborliness as exemplified by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, while advising Nigerians to see themselves as a single entity and learn to tolerate one another despite ethnic and religious differences. Meanwhile, the Sultanate Council of Sokoto has called on the Muslim Ummah to look for the new moon of Shawwal on Tuesday, 11th May 2021, which is the 29th of Ramadan, 114 and 42 AD after Hijrah. A statement signed by the Chairman Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Sultanate Council, Sokoto, says the sighting should be reported to the nearest district or village head for onward communication to the Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar. The moon sighting can also be reported through the following numbers on the screen. And thousands of Muslims thronged the Al-Nur Muslim Mosque, Wuse in the last odd number nights of the last 10 days of the Ramadan, where the night of majesty is expected, as they submit to their Lord in prayers for bounties and benevolence. Abdullah Ajia, who also participated, reports that the special Al-Qunut prayer was offered for Allah's quick intervention in all challenges of man.
As the clock ticks deep into the night, these worshippers with strong conviction converged in the house of Allah at a time that offers the best for the lucky worshippers. Muhammad Abdullah and Dr. Kabir Kabo Usman are two among the thousands of devotees keeping faith with the promise of Allah at such period.
It has always been a feeling of fulfillment to me as a person. And the fact that I have lived to witness this is to me a big rahama showered on me and my family as a person. So, conviction-wise, I think God has done us a lot of favor.
What is important in prayer is tranquility. And of course, the Prophet ﷺ prayed and he encouraged us to pray. And he is a noble example of all mankind. And certainly there is blessings, in prayer, because it creates some sense of spirituality, some sense of harmony, and also it gives you the courage, to always remember your Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And once people try to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who created us, there is definitely some sense of empathy. And this kind of sympathy and empathy.
Their belief, like any other worshipper in attendance, is that of a spirituality like never before, as it provides them the opportunity to move closer to Allah and pray for Nigeria and leaders.
The Muslim society, to go hand in hand with the other, members of the society so that there is a peaceful coexistence. So it gives peace and tranquility. And alhamdulillah, we have done well, in the sense that today is the 29th night. And of course, we are looking forward, to the next year, so that history can repeat itself.
Whenever you make an ibadat, you have to have a deeper inner faith that Allah is going to listen to you, because that is what He says Himself. Whenever you make any ibadat, Allah will accept it from you. You have to have that conviction in you. You have to have a good faith in the fact that God or Allah accept ibadat from His abd.
The The Al-Qunut prayer provided a moment of spiritual climax and more access to the mercy of Allah, glorifying Him for the best in this life and in the hereafter, as the congregation was encouraged to continue with the moral lessons learned beyond the Ramadan. Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
And the FCT Police Command has deployed personnel at strategic places such as recreational parks, worship centers, and major highways to ensure a hitch-free Salah celebration. According to a statement signed by the command spokesperson, ASP Miriam Yusuf, the Commissioner of Police, Balachi Roma, has ordered uninterrupted patrols, diligent stop and search operations, and coordinated intelligence-based crime-fighting strategies within Abuja. Similarly, the command wishes FCT residents a happy...
Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Samuel Oga Ochi, has enjoined motorists to observe traffic rules and regulations for a hitch-free Salah celebration without reports of road crashes.
We have heightened up our patrol activities within the FCT metropolis and also the area offices outside the metropolis. Now, arrangements have been made to also ensure that during the festivity proper, activities are carried out within the metropolis peacefully, and there will be no congestion of traffic anywhere. Now, what have we done so far? For the period of fasting, our emphasis have been deployment to areas of worship, to ensure that the number of persons that come to those places to worship during the activities are carried out without problem.
He says in case of eventuality, the command has stationed ambulances at some strategic locations in the FCT for emergency response.
We have one at Nyanya by Kubo. We have one by Goshen, as we're getting to the Kefi Road. We also have one by the road to Kaduna Road, that is Kubwa Kaduna Road. We have at one of the points there, just by Gilmore. Then we also have one at Zuba. We have another one at Giri, and we have another one by the National Stadium.
Deborah Gazaji-Micah, NTA News.
And with the two-day public holiday declared by the federal government for Muslim Ummah to celebrate the 2021 Eid al-Fitr celebrations, passengers are taking advantage to travel to celebrate with loved ones. Hawa Gimba was at the Idu train station and Utako Motor Park to see the flow of passengers.
Traveling by train is one of the most alternative means of transportation for most Nigerians, coupled with the security challenges the country is facing. This has been described by passengers boarding train at the Idu train station to Kaduna to celebrate the Salah.
It's much safer. All we heard about the 300 soldiers that were deployed in bushes, and I'm not sure about that. I took a road trip, and so much happened that not a single soldier, and that scared me, really. And that's what compelled me to come back to joining the train.
Others commended the management of the transport sector for providing all COVID-19 safety protocols when boarding. They however called on government to provide more coaches and locomotives, as well as extend rail lines to every part of the country.
Yes, this is the last resort for us now. As you can see, a lot of people have joined the queue now. Look at virtually all the seats have been filled. This is the only reliable, realistic, major remains at the moment. So therefore, this is the good recommendation. We are going to Kaduna for my Salah district from Abuja. So,
of course, not only recommend, I'm asking the government to provide it everywhere for everybody.
At the Utako Motor Park, passengers were seen trying to catch up with the next available car or bus, but complain of high costs in transport fare.
The fare, I think there's not much significance. The difference should be 500. Prior to the festive period, I think it's 2,000.
Actually, the transport fare is too much. Most especially if you notice some people here are going to Jos and it's 2,500. While somebody that is going to Kafanchan Gidanwaya, 2,500. You can imagine. and the distance are quite different.
While wishing Nigerians a peaceful Salah celebration, they are however asked to report any suspicious movement around them to relevant security operatives, as well as observe the COVID-19 safety protocols. Hawagimba, NTA News.
And now to health. Figures from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, as at 10th May 2021, indicates 27 new cases of COVID-19 in the FCT, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 19,846, while active cases stand at 581, and the number of discharged cases in the territory put at 19,099. Sadly, 166 deaths have been recorded in the FCT. You're watching the news at 1 on NTA Channel 5, Abuja. We now take this message. We'll be right back. Please stay with the station.
Jennifer, don't tell me you're still looking for chapters for your expo.
What expo? I'm reading to pass.
Yeah, right. I beg, we all know even if you study, the surest way to graduate in this school is to do a rejo. Or better still, we hook the lecturers, Abby.
No, that's a thing of the past. I would not get a certificate I cannot defend. I would not be a burden to the nation or the society by fixing or buying certificates that does not add value to my life. This is the era of change, and change begins with me.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Glad to have you back. Chairman, Abuja Municipal Area Council, Abdullahi Adamu Candido, says the socio-political emancipation of the FCT natives lies in the ability of its leaders to think about the next generation and not only the next elections. Candido stated this when he hosted some youth groups and the media to an iftar interactive session in Abuja. Abdullahi Ajia reports on the discussions.
In the season of sharing and caring for all, irrespective of creed, the iftar at the instance of the AMAC chairman Abdullahi Adamu Candido brought together youths and entrepreneurs on a roundtable discussion with an opportunity to understand issues better. Beyond the eating and drinking that the break of fast provided, the AMAC chairman did not hesitate to insulate the intents of the gathering with political ambition, but a genuine concern of the future of the FCT natives, which he says requires a common front and commitment of all leaders to be selfless and realistic with facts.
If we pretend not to state the fact, we will be pretending and they will be swallowed by challenges tomorrow. That is what I don't want to happen. Our people need to know where we are and where do we intend to be tomorrow, politically, administratively, socio-economically, and what have you. These essentially are reasons why we are beginning to say, let us assist other people so that we can collectively come together. No Nigeria is an enemy of FCT indigenous at all, and no indigenous is an enemy of other Nigerians. Put together, we can find solutions to a lasting solution to our issues, and then we can cohabit with little or no stress and tension.
This is a message from a leader who think of next generation. And those of you who are growing up should widen your scope and forget this local sentiment. It must be our own.
The AMAC boss maintains that building enduring institutions that will stand the test of time is part of what is needed for the socio-political advancements of the FCT people. With better understanding emanating from the interactive session, the youths call for more engagement and dialogue as stakeholders in the project of developing the FCT.
We also learned that reorientation, we have to have an attitudinal change towards the cause of FCT. Yes, we want our land, but we need other Nigerians, like you have said.
Aggressive sensitization and enlightenment of the people was identified as a stepping stone in the realization of the project. Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
In line with its mandate of sensitizing and enlightening pensioners under its payroll, The FCT Area Council Staff Pension Board has organized a retirement planning workshop for more than 50 retirees of the Area Council and Local Education Authority (LEAs). The reports.
Retirement is said to be a new phase of life, hence there is the need for retirees to plan sensibly so that they can secure their future. Director FCT Area Council Staff Pension Board, Nanzing Ndeng, while presenting a paper on strategies for managing retirement life, urged participants to embark on something new and have sufficient knowledge of any business they might want to go into.
I looked at also the types of businesses, the excuses that we normally give in life, and the conclusions on the fact that for every event, there must be a response and an outcome. Every day we have files coming in. So our training is continuous. We train the retirees to understand how to access their benefit. We train the retirees to know how to use their funds so that they know we are doing something for them.
Some participants say the workshop will acquaint them with the necessary information with regards to pension matters.
Very, very educative, and we gain a lot on the very workshop. And I pray that the God Almighty continue to sustain the organization.
Very, very important, because you need to know what is next, after government job. What next? And if we are not well trained or sensitized, we'll end up messing up our lives.
Nanzing Ndeng assures the senior citizens that the board will take complaints directed at them seriously and will work with the National Pension Commission for the effective management of the contributory pension scheme.
The best thing that can happen to anybody is knowing Nigeria's states and capital, especially from an early age. In this special report, Hawagiba captured some FCT residents on how well they know the states and capitals.
States and capital are important to every Nigeria, as well as knowing how many local governments each state has with their governors. This is the little some respondents know about their states and their capital.
Abia, Umaya, Adamawa, Yola, Akwa Ibom, Uyo, Anambra, Oka, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Megua.
I may not get everything, but I will try. Abia, Umaya, Adamawa, Yola, Anambra, Oka, Akwa Ibom, Uyo.
Capital for me. At this age?
Can you?
How many do you want me?
All.
All?
Yes,
I can't. I can't.
State and capital for me.
The state and capital are Abia, Umuahia, Adamawa, Yola, Akwa.
Start for my state now. Jigawa, Duse, Kano, Sokoto, Kebi, Birnin Kebi.
As for these respondents, some even asked me to call the capital while they call the states. Funny, isn't it?
From where?
State and capital, Sokoto.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, states.
Okay, Anambra State, Oka. Enugu State, Enugu. Ogun State, Abeokuta. Ondo State, Akure.
Abia, Umaya, Adamawa, Yola, Akwa Ibom, Uyo, Anambra, Auka.
You recite state and capital for me.
At my age, thank you very much. Will you be calling the states and I'll be calling the capitals?
No, sir. It's your duty to do the state and capital.
I will start with Edo, Benin, Anambra, Enugu.
Many are of the opinion that more needs to be done for people to know about their states, capital, and governors. Hawagimba, NTA News.
Despite the ban on the operation of commercial motorcycles known as Okada in the city center, they still operate illegally. Serafina Okon Umekwe reports that tickets are printed and sold to the riders.
Many people opt for Okada services because it is readily available, cheap and convenient. The rise in Okada usage has been accompanied by avoidable loss of lives. These riders have it easy on illegal routes, making bricks business. Here in Durumi, this 70-year-old Okada rider Suleiman Issa shares his experiences.
50 naira, but now 100 naira, everything done cash.
Commercial activities by Okada riders is no longer a thing done at the suburbs, but in the city center, as we have been to Durumi and Jaye here in the FCT, and we've seen that none of these commercial Okada riders are even taking safety into consideration in terms of wearing of crash helmets, neither are their passengers. The rise in Okada usage has led to a lot of social ills and complications, as people therefore call on government to sanitize the system.
And it's not like it's in our choice to really be patronizing these guys, because at the end of the day, it's not safe. It's not like we use the helmets and the protective gears and all those.
From my own point of view, I see that Okadas are very fast if you want to meet up your activity.
There are a lot of good people that are also riding Okada. So if you restrict this, if you restrict Okada people, you are restricting also the good person involved. According to security personnel who spoke off camera, for every 10 criminal operations, motorcyclists are involved in 8, and are therefore calling on government to put a police post or police station around that axis. In the FCT, reckless driving accounts for 78% of accidents, while alcohol and drugs intoxication accounts for 66%, and 46% is as a result of absence of road traffic signs and bad road network. Serafina Okon Umekwe, NTA News.
And on a sad note, FCT Minister of State Ramat Tijani Aliyu has expressed deep sadness over the death of a Muslim scholar, educationist and a seasoned administrator, Sheikh Muhammadu Al-Qali, the Sarki Malaman Masarautar Fika and Yobe's chief imam. The minister also extends her deepest condolence to the immediate family, government of Yobe State, Fika Emirate Council and the people of Fika Emirate over the demise of the Islamic cleric. The Minister of State in her condolence message said she was saddened over the death of the Muslim scholar, noting that the vacuum his death has created would be hard to fill. The late Sheikh Muhammad Al-Qali was a true scholar who served his students and the people of Fika Emirate with love and distinction. The minister therefore prayed that the Almighty Allah grants him Al-Jannah Firdaus and the family the fortitude to bear the loss. Meanwhile, the FCT Police Command says its personnel's morale will not be dampened by any means in actualizing the mandate of the command, which is to sustain peace and security in the nation's capital. Management of the command made the disclosure during a condolence visit to the family of the slain officer by members of Shiat last Friday. Ilyas Onotu Yakubu reports.
Look unto God, madam.
I want everyone to know that my dad was a good man. He was a good person.
Voices of pains, agony and sorrow of loved ones whose family pillar has been cut down by the cold hands of death by enemies of peace. Assistant Superintendent of Police Adama Ezekiel paid the supreme price at Bega Roundabout last Friday in the hands of violent members of the proscribed Islamic movement in Nigeria, popularly known as Shiites.
Late Adam is somebody that anybody on earth will like. He loves human being.
He knew it's not going to be easy without seeing our father.
Family members and colleagues describe